Emily, I'm going to turn this way. Um, I guess what I want to say tonight, it still puzzles me. Oh, I've watched portions of a couple of your videos, and I wanted to point out. Let me say this: one of your videos, you say that your mother was supposed to be entertaining the Duke of Windsor. He came into town, and I believe, if I'm not misreading it, that it was a showing out near Roswell or somewhere here in the States of a UFO unveiling. It supposedly the Germans had made, or etc. I'm not sure on that. But anyway, you did make that statement that the Duke of Windsor was there, that he was in the army. And of course, you're thinking he is my father, Edward VIII. You didn't really know about me at that time. You didn't know there was an imposter, and that wasn't my father. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe. And as far as I know, he remained married to my mom. The condition they had to live in must have been deplorable with all his money gone. My mom had money, but then I was kidnapped in 41, born in 39. They were married. The whole thing was a takedown of my father. And you're right about one thing. You said something about referring to, you were referring to him as your dad. He's not, he's my father. And about him being, they couldn't buy him or something. That part's true. But when you found out about me, you knew that there was a problem there. That in one of the videos, you mentioned something about it being at the showing in Germany, and that your mother had a tryst and had, that was kind of bad, saying something like, you know, anyway, you know what I mean. Oh, and that's when she got pregnant that night, and that it was supposed to be again singled out for entertaining the Duke of Windsor. Well, I don't know which place is supposed to be in the United States or Germany. That wasn't clear to me. Maybe I need to go back and uh, look at them again, but I don't need to, because it was, I know that enough that there's flaws in it. Now then, I did want to say this too. I think part of this came when I put on Facebook and I said, hey, go dig up the imposter that's buried with Wallis on Windsor Castle ground and get his DNA. Well, your DNA might match his. I don't know. But you're not the daughter of Edward VIII, my dad. I'm the legal heir if I should ever get to go home, and so are my children. I think that at that time you thought, well, this is what was relayed to me by the who was supposed to be my Facebook friend, and on behalf of you, that you wanted me to call you, phone number, etc., that both of us should get together and sue together. We had to do it together. So I didn't get that part. I never agreed to, well, I did end up giving my phone number, I'll say that, but I never talked with you personally. Um, I will say this, what I surmise, when you found out that that was a double and you'd already committed yourself in the other videos, many that you've made, and maybe in the books that you've written, that about the Duke of Windsor, well, you didn't know about the double at that time. When I came along and told you, or you heard about me through Facebook in my videos, then you decided, now correct me if I'm wrong, you decided that this is what was relayed to me, that by this, well, her name was Margaret. You know who I'm talking about, the one you got to contact me. And I unfriended her too, because I couldn't understand her anger at me. I had never spoken about you to her, and suddenly she's talking that I'm your half sister. I'm the older one. I should get in touch with you and help you. My dear, first of all, I don't think you're my half sister. But I mean, that's what that woman, what business is it of hers? And how does she make the assumption that I should? No, I shouldn't. Okay, but what I think happened when you found out about the imposter and me and my dad and my mom, I think this is what Margaret, your intermediary, text to me on the messenger. She said that you had stated that Wallis had a trust fund of millions in France, that if she and this illegal Duke of Windsor, phony, had children or heirs, it would be theirs. I think you thought you needed me to help you to prove what? First of all, if you're the daughter of the imposter, any of that money by rights should be confiscated from me. It belongs to my father and mother and me and my children. That was stolen money, part of it. A lot of it, I'm quite sure. And also any of the gifts and money and jewelry that were given to her or to him were given because they thought they were giving it to my father, Edward VIII. The imposter was a war crime, the whole thing. The title's illegal. The man, whoever he is, and her should have been locked up and charged with war crimes along with Elizabeth and my uncle and a whole bunch of other people back then, sorry sots. But instead, the double went on to the Bahamas and was made governor. And if you read about what happened down there, that is British. And this guy could get away with any crime he wanted to that was portraying my father. And it just, can you understand how I feel when I've lived a horrible life in my children? I've been missing my mom and dad. I've had my dad so defamed. When I remember bits and pieces of him and being with him and my mom, they loved each other. He was still alive in '86 when I came here, and so was my mom. I know that. Now then, the problem is that the double died and was buried at Windsor Castle in '72, and then Wallis next to him later on. So, I don't know. I hope I get to go home. I hope I get to repay both ways. I hope there's justice for those that did the right thing, and for those who didn't, I hope that God steps in. You said you believe in God? Well, he's the only one that can step in and mediate this. All right?